down and, for lack of a better term, not knowing where they are down low when the other team brings it down to the paint.
That is one thing that gives me hope moving forward, because it is still so early in this college basketball season, is if Marquette's having issues on the defensive end, I'm not okay with that, but I know that Shaka's going to fix that, right? Like, Shaka Smart in his entire career has never had problems defensively, and I have so much confidence in him as a coach to get his personnel to defend with the energy and the violence that they do as a program. You kind of just feel like that's going to get fixed at some point.
Absolutely, and yeah, like I mentioned, at the rim is kind of my biggest issue. There were a lot of times they hit some deep threes, Maryland did, and we've seen the three-point defense has struggled both against Maryland and Indiana. But you can't allow as many easy buckets down low. That's what allows teams to just kill any momentum you have on your end. So I think Ben Gold, Caden Hamilton, and like you mentioned, Royce Parham need to step up on the defensive side, and then you figure out the offensive end.
This is Marquette College Game Day, brought to you all season long by National Liquor Mart, Cousin Subs, Marquette Athletics, Exterior Pros, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, and our presenting partner is Potto, alongside Matrix Basement Finishing. Will, another bright spot from a losing effort against Maryland was Chase Ross. I had a lot of skepticism coming into this season, losing one of the great senior classes in the history of this program, with Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, and David Joplin moving on. Where was the offense going to come from? I was really skeptical that Chase Ross could take his game from 12 to 14 points a game to 20. He scored 31 on Saturday. He's proven he can wear some of that offensive onus.
Yeah, he's not just the highlight guy anymore. He is a cornerstone for not just this offense but this team. He's been phenomenal both as a transition scorer and a legit perimeter threat. That's been the thing that I've been most impressed with Chase Ross. I know he likes to shoot threes, but he hasn't been very consistent in making them. But the past two games, he's been on fire from beyond the arc, and I think that's really benefited not only his numbers but the team's numbers.
Marquette trailed by 13 in the first half against Maryland, and then they came back to tie the game at the half, and a part of that flurry was Chase Ross hitting threes, and he hit one in front of the Maryland bench and started jawing at people on the Maryland bench. That is, I bring it up because it's a telling example of how confident he is on the offensive side of the floor with his entire game now. Like, Chase was, like you said, Will, always a little bit hesitant to shoot threes. He's a beast at the rim and driving and cutting, but if he can be confident from three, so much so that he's jawing at people on the opposing bench, you know this guy is transcending to a new level in terms of his confidence and his skill set.
Absolutely. He's the guy now, right? I think you come into a season knowing that, and you step up. And you know your role is different, and clearly he's taken that on. And he might not be the most efficient scorer right now, but in my opinion, he scored 31 points by not even playing his best. I don't think that was his best career game. It might have been a career high in scoring. I don't think it was the best game he's ever played, and that tells me that he's the leader on this team, and he's going to keep getting better and better.
So for some perspective here, Cam Jones, who finished third all-time in scoring at Marquette University behind Marcus Howard and Jarrell McNeil. Cam averaged 19.4 points per game in his senior season. Small sample size, only 5 games. Chase is averaging 20, almost 21. It's 20.8 through 5 games, and he's got about 4 and 4 in rebounds and assists.
He's leading the team in assists right now.
He's the second leading scorer in the Big East right now, and it just begs the question, because we've had Marcus Howard, we've had Cam Jones in the mix, we've had Tyler Kolek win a Big East Player of the Year. Is Chase Ross, in your opinion, Will Summers, a guy that can keep this up all season to a point where he is vying for Big East Player of the Year come March?
Almost definitely. And when you think about the rest of the team, the fact that there's not really a solidified second scoring option makes me believe that even more, because a lot of the times that when they're on the offensive side of the ball, Chase Ross just creates something out of nothing because of a lack of anyone else on the court stepping up. So I think it'll be definitely beneficial for the team if he can keep this up. I would like to see another second scoring option step up, but hey, Big East Player of the Year, I'm not going to complain about that.
It would be really exciting to keep this Marquette program in the mix for a tournament bid this year, and I think that's going to be the conversation all winter long with this Marquette team. The last couple of years, it's really been kind of a given. When you start the season ranked as high as Marquette has started the season ranked the last couple of years, you pretty much assume, unless there's catastrophe, they're going to make the tournament. I think this team is a younger team and more of a bubble team, and we're going to be looking at Joe Lenardi's bracketology, Matt, all season long and going, okay, this week they're in, next week they're out.
Yeah.
They're going to have to stack some non-conference wins here in order to hit their stride come Big East, and they got some opportunities starting tonight against Dayton. Next Black Friday, they play Oklahoma down in Chicago. And then, of course, the rivalry game against Wisconsin the first week of December. Those are the 3 key games coming up to keep them in the mix for an at-large NCAA tournament bid.
You're right. That's why this one is so huge, because your opportunities for a big non-conference victory are getting shorter and shorter as the weeks go on. You go to Purdue, that's going to be a really tough one to pull out. But you know what? This Marquette team in recent years has gotten off to really good starts at the start of seasons. And at the end of seasons, they've fallen off a bit. I think last year you expected a little bit more out of them, and in past years as well. So it's not the worst thing to slowly build up into the team that you want to be come March, because that's what this is all about, right? But at the same time, non-conference is huge, and it will matter a lot for their March resume.
It does feel like, if you're a Marquette fan, hopefully you're hoping it's backwards this year. Like Matt just said, the last couple years, even dating back to the Wojo era, Marquette's been like 19-3 at the start of February, and then they hit the February slump. And all of a sudden it's like, they've gone from a 2 seed to a 6 or a 7 seed. 6-7, that's for the kids out there.
Nice.
But like, if they can flip that script this year and hit their stride come February or March, that's ultimately a really positive thing for an inexperienced, younger basketball team this year.
Yeah, especially coming into the year, a lot of people speculated that the Big East would be one of those very prominent conferences. And so far to start the year, they really haven't. So if Marquette can still be in the running to get a high seed in the Big East tournament and make a run at that tournament, I love their odds at making a run in the tournament potentially.
Just to add context to that, Marquette was the number 6 team in the country when they played Dayton last year.
Yes.
And they, kind of not blew it, but they fell in the second half after they had a double-digit lead. We might touch on that a bit. But isn't that crazy to think about how much changes in a full calendar year?
100%. We're going to talk more about the Dayton Flyers on the other side. That game last year, why this might be a revenge game for the Marquette Golden Eagles tonight, and why I would like to see more of the Dayton Flyers in the future. We will get to that on the other side. Will Summers, Matt Yezo, Brian Z. This is Marquette College Game Day, live from Fiserv Forum, brought to you all season long by our presenting sponsor, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. You want in on the autumn action at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee? Of course you do. With $300,000 in prizes, who wouldn't? Play November 1st through the 20th. Earn entries playing with your rewards card. Drawings every Thursday from 5 to 8 Thursdays. You pick your win from the prize board. All leftover prizes go into the rollover jackpot drawing at 8:30 p.m. For more information, head on over to their website. You got to be 21 and a rewards member to play. More on the Dayton Flyers, tonight's opponent on the other side. This is Marquette College Game Day, live from Fiserv Forum on 94.5 ESPN.
Marquette College Game Day continues after this. 94.5 ESPN is the home of Marquette basketball.
In football, what does every great team start with?
A strong defense. Same's true in business.
Defense against what?
Cyber threats. That's why companies use Trend Micro.
What do they actually protect?
Your network, your data, your people, from ransomware, phishing, and more.
So it's not just antivirus?
Not at all. Trend Micro has a full defensive playbook trusted worldwide for over 35 years.
Sounds like the kind of defense every business needs.
Exactly. Don't get blindsided. Go to trendmicro.com and see how enterprise security is done right.
Looking for green and gold tickets? Ticket King is your go-to for Green Bay football tickets. With offices in Milwaukee and Green Bay, Ticket King is your local and most trusted source to see the green and gold. Plan ahead and get your seats this season at theticketking.com. The green and gold are putting together an awesome season that might be memorable and end with another championship. Be there to witness it and get your seats at theticketking.com or call 414-273-6007. Theticketking.com. It's not sold out until the King is sold out.
Homer here for Window Nation's end of the year sale. This November, you'll save big with 50% off all window styles. Plus, you could get 0% financing for 5 years. Window Nation's proven quality windows are so good, you'll actually save money on lower utility bills and come with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation even has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't miss out on 50% off and 0 interest for 5 years. Visit windownation.com to get started.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Thanksgiving is almost here. What are you bringing to the table? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Pairing the right wine with your Thanksgiving dinner can turn your meal into a celebration. But you don't have to be an expert to find the right wine. That's what our knowledgeable staff is here for. With over 8,000 varieties of wine, Discount Liquor can help you choose between a light, fruity Pinot Grigio, a big, luscious Cabernet, or anything in between, all at the lowest prices in town. Visit us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store again!
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com. And from our family to yours, have a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Discount Liquor.
Welcome to Jackpot Land this fall at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all fall to win your share of thousands in prizes each month and earn entries into the big December Jackpot Land prize drawings. Your October, November, and December entries all count. Win thousands in cash or reward play. Welcome to Jackpot Land, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app. Whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew, let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
At Marquette University, it's all about finishing strong, just like Matrix Basement Finishing. From first tip to final buzzer, Marquette plays with purpose and passion and precision values shared by the Matrix teams in every lower level transformation they complete. Hey, it's Greg Matzik, and as someone currently having my own basement finished by Matrix, I can tell you firsthand, they truly live up to their name. Whether you're cheering from the stands or relaxing in your newly finished basement, remember the best teams and the best homes always finish strong.
This is Marquette College Game Day, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook and sponsored by National Liquor Mart, Cousin Subs, Exterior Pros, and Matrix Basement Finishing on the home of Marquette basketball, 94.5 ESPN.
Ryan G, Will Summers, Matt Yeza with you live from Fiserv Forum as the Marquette Golden Eagles get ready to take on the Dayton Flyers at 6:30 right here on 94.5 ESPN. Marquette basketball knows how to finish strong, and so does Matrix Basement Finishing. Turn your lower level into a space you'll love with craftsmanship that delivers the win every single time. Matrix Basement Finishing, proud partner of Marquette Athletics. Learn more at matrixbasements.com. You can watch the show all season long on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube page, where Rainbow Trout chimes in, guys, and says, one of the greatest senior classes in MU history. Are you bleeping kidding me? Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, David Joplin are a fart in the wind in the history of Marquette athletics. I said that very intentionally. They won 98 games in their 4 years on campus. Nobody has won more in Marquette history. Now, the postseason success didn't come, but that doesn't mean they didn't put their stamp on this program, specifically in the Shaka era, coming out of the Wojo era where things were pretty grim.
You have to focus on the success in the regular season as well as the postseason, right? Postseason is hard in any sport. It's kind of like saying the Brewers have never done anything good because they've never won a World Series. Like, they've done so much winning in the regular season and some big memorable postseason wins. It's the same thing here. They've had so much success. They finally broke the barrier and got to that Sweet 16 as well. They've produced multiple NBA players. Like, this is one of multiple kind of golden eras of Marquette basketball. So I absolutely agree with what you said.
And it's not even like that senior class was just riding pine their freshman and sophomore years. They were on the court making an impact. So
100%.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
So let's shift gears from Saturday's loss to Maryland to tonight's game against the Dayton Flyers. I led off the show by saying, guys, this is a revenge game of sorts for Marquette. They were number 6 in the country last year when they went down to Dayton, and they had a 10-point lead at halftime and ended up squandering it away and losing to an inferior Dayton team that was hot at the time that ended up missing the NCAA tournament by the end of the year. This is a program that probably doesn't get the love and credit that it deserves. I mean, there's a reason that the NCAA tournament plays their first 4 games every year in Dayton, Ohio. It's because they have great facilities, and it's a city that cares a lot about basketball. And I think back to the COVID year in 2020, They were the number 1 overall seed going into an NCAA tournament that didn't happen with Obi Toppin leading the charge. This is a proud basketball school that, regardless of if they're ranked or not ranked, is always super competitive and scrappy. And if the Big East were ever to expand, the University of Dayton would be the first school that I would call and say, do you guys want in? Because it's a school with religious ties that cares most about basketball. Super great facility, super passionate fan base. Makes all the sense in the world. And I think all of that off the floor leads to them being competitive on the floor every single year.
So on Saturday, Marquette lost a streak of winning non-conference games at home. They hadn't lost since they lost to Wisconsin in 2022. Dayton has won 29 consecutive non-conference games at home. And Javon Bennett, who's their leading scorer, he's a senior. Last year, he said their game against Marquette was the loudest it had ever been in his career. They've sold out like 50-something straight games. You're right. It's a great program, and it's one that should be celebrated. And I think Marquette should also be celebrated for scheduling home and homes with Dayton and Maryland and Purdue and kind of opting to go that route instead of some of the tournaments that are in exotic locations and whatnot. It's celebrating college basketball where it should be played on campuses.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about the Big East is that year in and year out, no matter how good your team is, every fan base has a lot of pride for their team, right? And that's Dayton, right?
Yeah.
Like, regardless, you look at like a team like South Carolina and the SEC. You think anyone cares if they're good at or they're bad at basketball? No, they only care if they're good. So a team like Dayton being in the Big East, sometimes I do forget that they're not in the Big East. It would just make sense.
Yeah, and I think, Matt, you brought up a really good point there. I do think Marquette and Shaka Smart deserve a ton of credit for scheduling strong non-conference schedules every year, regardless of the state of the program, right? This, from the outside, is a year that you could conceivably say, okay, it could be a down year. Let's schedule a little bit softer and give our team, an easier path to a better non-conference record and improve our chances at an NCAA tournament at large bid. Shaka thinks the opposite, and this program constantly schedules home and homes against Dayton, Maryland, Purdue. I mean, Marquette's going to play probably the number 1 team in the country coming up at their place in a couple of weeks' time. And I think it's a great thing, Will, for the younger guys, and I know you're a huge Nigel James Jr. proponent, as we all should be at this stage of his college basketball career, throwing them into the fire. And even if they fail, it's going to make them better come the dog days of Big East play.
Yeah, when you think about this Marquette team as a whole, a lot of them really haven't played meaningful roles before this year. Like, you have Ben Gold, you have Chase Ross. That's pretty much it, right? And I think that last year we saw, like you said, Brian, a flip of this where they played very good in the non-con and then struggled during the conference. I think these, especially these past 2 games where you lose to, I wouldn't call Indiana or Maryland, I don't think they're setting the world on fire, but they're still competitive opponents.
They're Power 5
losses
teams,
like that are going to build this team and help them find their identity for a lot of guys that haven't played meaningful basketball or just meaningful minutes together before.
100%, and it's November right now. We have to remember that.
Totally.
Even though you're 3-2, you would be 3-3 with a loss to a good team. Yeah, they might not be in the top 25. It's kind of tough for a team like that to crack the top 25, given their schedule and their conference, which would be better if they were in the Big East, of course. But it's a tough, competitive team that you're going to have to beat tonight, and it would be a win that goes right on their resume for the rest of the year.
Let's talk a little bit more about Nigel James Jr. because he's been awesome through 5 games of his college basketball career, and he's going to get more opportunities, Matt, because you told me and Will something during the break about tonight's game that is a little discouraging for the Marquette bench, and that was Sean Jones.
Sean Jones still, according to Ben Steele, our friend of the program from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, still in his sling in warm-ups today, so he's not playing here in this one, which means more minutes for Nigel, right? He had 23 minutes against Maryland, 8 points, and, of course, a couple of nice lob passes that excited the crowd.
What? Screw the stats on Nigel James Jr., but he just looks the part. You can just tell if you watch basketball whether a guy's got it or not, and for an 18 or 19-year-old kid to come into Big East play and play in the United Center, 22,000 people against Indiana, in this arena, in a raucous environment against Maryland. Like, the moment's not too big for him. You can already tell that he's going to be one of those guys that 4 years from now we're going to go, oh, yeah, he's going to be flirting with a top 5 scorer in Marquette history.
You could tell when he's out there, he's not looking to get hunted. He's doing the hunting.
100%.
He has that look in his eyes, that determination where he just wants to go out there and make plays and wreak absolute havoc in the backcourt of the opposing teams.
It's exciting, too, coming out of an era of great point guards, right?
Yep.
We went, and we should feel fortunate about this as Marquette fans. We went from Marcus Howard pretty much straight into Tyler Kolek, into Cam Jones, now into Nigel James Jr. It's a pretty solid run of guys, and you might scoff at that. I mean, the middle two guys have gotten legitimate NBA minutes. Marcus hasn't panned out, and I think a lot of that's because of size, but he's been really good in Europe. But it's been exciting at the collegiate level to see these guys perform at the top of their game in the Big East Conference.
Absolutely. It's just how this team has been built in recent years, and it's led to a ton of success. And maybe for Nigel, he's stepping up into a bigger role a little sooner than we may have thought. I think we were all really excited for the return of Sean Jones. And again, it's a long season. We're hoping he comes back and gets back to that role of being the leader of the offense. But Nigel has clearly put his stamp on this team. And I think some of those passes he made on Saturday shows that he's, despite just having a couple of starts, he's got chemistry with some of the guys on this team, with Zayd Lowry, to have the confidence to throw it up there to him like that and play the way he did. I think he's a big part of this team moving forward.
Let's take a peek around the corner with about 90 seconds left here on Marquette College Game Day. Got the game tonight, Central Michigan on Saturday, Oklahoma next Friday. Go 2 Saturdays from now, we're already playing Wisconsin. That'll be our next show together. We'll be live from Potawatomi Casino Hotel in the Sportsbook, which will be awesome. That is always the game of the non-conference schedule. And for the first time in a couple of years, guys, Marquette's going to be punching up against Wisconsin, who looks really good. I think if there's a game that can solidify them on that bubble, and on the plus side of that bubble come Selection Sunday, it's not too early to start talking about Marquette, Wisconsin, and Madison in a couple of weeks' time.
It's a rivalry. Throw the numbers out, throw the stats out. I don't care what they're ranked. It doesn't matter. It's a rivalry. Anything can happen.
That's the way it always works, Will. 2 years ago, Marquette went in there as the number 3 team in the country and took an L to Wisconsin, and the court got stormed. So Marquette can play spoiler this year.
Yeah, I mean, like Matt said, rankings, stats, throw it all out the window. It's all about bragging rights with those two teams.
You guys getting a beer tonight? You sticking around for the game? You guys got to go see my guy Dick at the 12-point tap room here. He's the nicest bartender in Fiserv Forum. Look out for Dick outside Section 103.
You've convinced me.
You got to go do it
now. Yeah,
he's got to be your guy.
I'm getting lost in the fight.
You should be lost in the fight.
Bring
Get
out
lost
Ahoy.
in the beer.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us here tonight on Marquette College Game Day on 94.5 ESPN. Stick around. Gabe Neitzel has your network pregame coverage of Marquette and Dayton coming up on the other side. This has been Marquette College Game Day. For Will Summers, for Matt Yazel, for our producer Chris Larson, I'm Brian D. Marquette basketball is next on 94.5 ESPN.